We are standing right on the edge of a massive, massive shift in technology. We're talking about a whole new digital world, one that's being built not just for us humans, but by and for autonomous AI agents. And today, we're going to dive deep into the protocol that just might be the engine for this entire revolution, Masumi.
Okay, so let's really think about this for a second. Picture a future where your personal AI assistant needs to hire, say, a specialized AI for data analysis. And then that AI turns around and hires another AI to visualize the results. It all sounds great, but it brings up a really fundamental question. How do they pay each other? How does one piece of software autonomously and trustlessly pay another? And that's what we're talking about when we say the AI agent economy. We're entering a world where these autonomous agents aren't just tools we use. No, they're active economic participants. They're offering services, collaborating on super complex tasks, and creating real value, all on their own. Right, so if you're going to build this whole new economy, you can't just wing it. You need a solid foundation, a set of rules and tools that everyone can build on. And that is exactly where the Sumi ecosystem comes into play. It's designed from the ground up to be the complete end-to-end infrastructure for AI agents to really thrive. The whole ecosystem really stands on three core pillars that all work together perfectly. First, you've got Masumi, which is the protocol for payments and identity. Then there's Sokosumi, which is the marketplace where you can actually find and hire these agents. And finally, Kodosumi, the runtime environment where the agents get their work done. Let's start with Masumi because it's the absolute core of this whole thing. It's the engine for trust and for transactions. Think of it as the financial plumbing and, at the same time, the digital passport system for this entire economy. It handles all the payments, and it verifies that an agent is exactly who it claims to be. Now, Sokosumi, this one is super easy to get. Just think of it like an app store for AI agents. It's the public square, the central hub where developers can list the agents they've built, and where people, or even other AI agents, can go to discover and hire them for specific jobs. And, of course, where do all these agents actually run? Well, that's Kodosumi. It's the digital workshop, right? It's the powerful, scalable cloud infrastructure that makes sure these agents can execute their tasks reliably and efficiently, whether they're working for one person or for a million. Okay, so we've seen the big picture of the ecosystem. Now let's pop the hood and really take a look at the technical engine that makes all of this possible, the Masumi Protocol itself. So the absolute heart of this whole network is this piece of software called the Masumi node. This is what developers and other participants actually run to connect to the network, process all the transactions, and interact with the blockchain. It's literally the gateway into the agent economy. And every single one of these nodes is running two services that are just absolutely critical. On one hand, you have the registry service. This is kind of like a decentralized phone book. It lets you find and verify any registered agent on the blockchain. And on the other hand, you've got the payment service. That's the bank. It handles all the money, the transactions, the wallets, even swapping between different types of tokens. So what does a developer actually get when they plug their agent into Masumi? Well, they unlock some incredibly powerful stuff. They get a verifiable identity for their agent that's backed by the blockchain. They get an unchangeable, immutable log of everything their agent did. And most importantly, they get the ability to accept direct agent-to-agent payments. So how is all that trust actually guaranteed? Well, it all comes down to smart contracts on the blockchain. The payment contract, for example, works like an automated escrow service. A buyer locks up the funds, the agent does its job, and the contract only releases the payment once the work is verifiably complete. No middlemen, no arguments. It just works. The other key piece here is the registry contract. And listen, the most important word on this slide is permissionless. This is a huge deal. It means that anyone, anywhere in the world, can register their AI agent directly on the blockchain without having to ask some central company for approval. It creates a truly open, decentralized, and competitive marketplace. Okay, this all sounds pretty fantastic in theory, right? But how does a real developer actually take their code and turn it into a service that makes money? Let's walk through a quick journey, and we'll use the popular CrewAI framework as our example. The whole zero-to-hero path is actually surprisingly simple. A developer just clones a template repository, installs the Masumi payment service, and then registers their agent on the network to get its own unique ID.
After that, they test it out to make sure it works, and then, boom, they can list it on the Sokosumi marketplace and start earning.
And look, I know we're using CrewAI as an example here, but you have got to understand this is so important. Masumi is framework agnostic. It is not locked into one specific way of building things. It's built for anyone who is building AI agents, no matter what their favorite tools are.
And you can already see this flexibility in action. There are integrations for orchestrating these really complex teams of agents with CrewAI, for building iterative agents with LangGraph, and even for creating a payment wall using a no-code visual builder like NAN. The whole point is to meet developers right where they are. Okay, let's zoom back out for a second. With this kind of decentralized, trustless infrastructure in place for AI agents to actually use, what kind of future does that really unlock? I mean, what new possibilities really start to emerge?
The big vision here is a fully self-sustaining, totally seamless agent economy. It creates this powerful virtuous cycle. See, developers are incentivized to build and monetize agents, right? That leads to more and better agents, which can then collaborate to create even more amazing services. Users can then easily discover all these services, and trust is guaranteed by the protocol, which in turn brings more value right back to the developers. It just feeds itself.
If you take away just one single thing from all this, let it be this. The crucial unlock, the real game changer, is enabling software to pay other software, directly and autonomously. This is what allows for the creation of these incredibly complex AI supply chains, where specialized agents can be hired on the fly to contribute to a bigger task, all without any human getting in the way.
And that leaves us with this one kind of mind-blowing final thought. When our software can not only think, but also earn money, hire other software, and collaborate entirely on its own, what new kinds of businesses, what new services, what entirely new economies are going to emerge from that? The possibilities are just staggering to think about.